and welcome to your weekly look at financial markets over the next week. Mike Smith, Senior Analyst and Head of Client Education and Trading with you to talk about the key things that may move sentiment. Of course, the major one is the US-China trade progress. There was a meeting yesterday. The narrative out of that meeting from both sides was fairly positive. There is a suggestion that there was significant progress with some potential announcement today with more details. The market is responding positively to that if we look at the futures and Asian trading so far. But of course, we've yet to see what that looks like in reality. But that is going to be a key factor, not only for today, but going forward, of course. Keep your eye on news as it crosses the wires. Of course, that's not the only big thing going on. We've also got the US CPI number out this week. The latest numbers released tomorrow night at 10:30 Eastern time. And it'll be interesting to see whether progress in reducing that CPI number is plateauing or even perhaps a tick up. At this stage, the Fed were expected a few weeks ago to be cutting rates in June. That's been pushed back in terms of probability to July. But a number that's soft would obviously potentially bring that forward. And will keep Donald Trump happy, of course, who was already talking about his dismay at the Fed behavior of late. We are at the back end of US earnings season. It's been a good one. And we're in the final stretch with retail stocks, the major focus. Over the course of the week, we've got all the big US retail players giving their numbers to the market, so keep an eye on those. And if we look at the indices overall, there just seems to be a little indecision. We had that massive move to the downside into bear market territory, the big bounce up. And if we look at the S&P 500, for example, then you can see on the daily chart, the futures contract was stuck underneath this 5685, but you can see that gap up on that news in today's trading. Very significant. This is over the 200 MA. Watch for this level here at 5790 on the futures contract. That would break us out of the range, would give us a high not seen since the back end of March, and would suggest that sentiment is in a good place. And finally, we've seen a surge in Bitcoin again. Of late, Bitcoin's been under pressure, but over the last few days, we've seen it move out of a range back over 100,000. Quickly check out a chart. You can see here we're trading around 104,000. This is the key level to watch on the daily chart at 107,200. That was the record high. Could see us move up towards 110,000 potentially. That was the intraday high back here in January. So this is one to watch, but the buyers are most certainly in. Just a little pause in Asia at this stage. Perhaps that's in waiting for some more news to come across the wires. Interesting times. And of course, you can keep up to date with what's happening on live market updates. And of course, we have our regular inner circle deeper dive on something to do with markets to help you and your trading every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Of course, we're always here to help. So feel free to get in touch with our auto support team whenever you need to. Have a great week. Trade safe and see you again soon. Bye bye for now.